It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the last day of August 2001, August 31st to be exact. So, we only got two movies to look at today, so we can make this one pretty quick. Let's go ahead and jump right to it, and we'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is the horror film, Jeepers Creepers.
House of pain.
The what?
Those bodies down there, that's what it likes to call it.
Who is this?
I don't know if it's a demon or a devil, or just some hungry thing from some dark place in time.
So it seems like it starts off on a note where it's making fun of itself. You have a story where you have these siblings on the way back home during spring break, and they witness a mysterious person dumping something down a tunnel. And then they decide to discover what was dumped down there, and the guy, played by Justin Long, discovers a huge disturbing hideout full of modified bodies, and him and his sister basically set off to get help, unaware that the individual is now aware of who has been down the tunnel, and now they realize that their pursuer is not just a mysterious person, but something even more horrifying, who has more in store than they could possibly imagine. And as the trailer kind of gives you the idea, every 23 years, for 23 days, it gets to eat, and sounds really stupid when you really think about it, because it's just like, well, okay, if this guy gets to be around for 23 years and 23 days, just don't go to the place where he's at for 23 years and 23 days, and you're pretty much safe there. But see, I thought with the trailer for this started off with them looking at this guy dumping stuff down there and saying that, hey, you know, we shouldn't do this because, you know what, this is how basically they're saying this is how horror movies go, and I thought there was going to be like a satirical edge to it, but Nope, not even that. It's just kind of like they still do everything that you shouldn't do in a horror movie. You shouldn't go down the tube. You shouldn't get involved with the bad guy in this. The villain, the horror guy, is the guy that's going to kill you, because guess what? It's your asses now, and this is pretty much what happens in this movie here. And I mean, it's not a bad movie per se. I get some of the ideas they have here. It has some ideas that are kind of interesting, but the execution really doesn't really work out in the film's favor when it's all said and done. It feels like you think it's going to have a good idea to it, and then it just really just falls apart when it just gets to the point where it falls for all the same horror movie tropes, it falls for the same horror movie cliches. There's nothing original about this movie. There's nothing unique about it. The design of the creeper looks pretty cool. I mean, it's really, like, the pieces are definitely there to make something very interesting overall, and like I said, the creature, it looks very cool in general, but unfortunately the movie just does not really have that energy there to really do something unique and different about it. It just turns into a very formulaic slasher movie, and not even a good slasher film when it's all said and done. It's kind of a letdown, really, because the promise is definitely there, the potential is definitely there, but unfortunately it's just like, it just never really amounts to anything when it's all said and done. You just feel like you're kind of let down by it. It feels like one of those movies that, you know, you come into it hoping for a lot more from it, and then you come out of it going, wow, that's just like every slasher film I've ever seen. Like, at least with somebody like Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees, there's at least some cool factor to it. Like, even if the movies are the predictable movies we've seen done over and over again, you at least get something there that they have their unique spins around them. But with this guy, like I said, every 23 springs he gets to eat for 23 days, and it's just like I said before, just don't be in the area when it's the 23rd spring for him in the 23 days, and just go do something else. You're guaranteed to survive there, but of course we can't do that because we wouldn't have a movie. And maybe it's for the best we probably didn't have a movie, because this character really does not become all that interesting once you really put everything together. And the movie just feels kind of pointless when it's all said and done. Yeah, so not much more to say about that one. Kind of very much a letdown, especially considering what they were setting up for with that trailer, but Jeepers Creepers, nothing there really. So let's move on to the last movie we have here, and that is Mekhi Phifer, Josh Hartnett, and Julia Stiles in O.
Rising hero.
This year's most valuable player, Odin James.
An intense love.
Maybe we could pretend for a while, you know?
A perfect plot.
We're gonna break him up. But Mike told me that him and Desi were together last night.
You'd never give out no love behind my back now, would you?
What? You're the only person I've ever been with.
You're all out, I say nothing.
Mekhi Phifer, Josh Hartnett, Julia Stiles. Oh, rated R.
So this is basically a modern retelling of Othello by William Shakespeare, where you have a tough basketball coach, Duke Golding, played by Martin Sheen, who leaves nothing untried to lead his almost exclusively white boarding school basketball team, the Hawks, to victory after victory, but after his own son Hugo, played by Josh Hartnett, feels his prolific technical excellence and tireless efforts, which require using stimulants, are not getting any recognition that he thinks he deserves, especially when the coach gives the Best Player award to Odin James, played by Mekhi Phifer, who was the only black teammate, even saying he loves Odin like his own son, which in turn calls super rich Michael Cassio, played by Andrew Keegan, to share in the honor. So Hugo, who is liked by everyone, decides to set up the boys who stole his glory, and he knows a cocky adolescent's weak points are his pride and his girl. This Dixie Jago's scheme to bring down a black Othello and his Cassio, playing into the poisonous power of jealousy, however badly this also hurts the loved ones and the whole team. And this is a movie that, like I said, it's a modernized retelling of the story of Othello. And it's directed by Tim Blake Nelson, too. Oh, I did not know directed this movie. I thought it was somebody else entirely. But it's a very interesting film when you really look at it in the long run. It's a film that definitely takes a lot of inspiration from the story of Othello. And it does have ideas that have a lot of promise to it. I think the young cast overall here works very well here. It's a very good cast in general with this particular film, with Pfeiffer, Hartnett, Stiles, Martin Sheen, Rain Phoenix, Keegan, John Hurd, Anthony Johnson. Just a good cast overall in this particular movie. And it's a very interesting film. I don't think it was one of those ones, though, that really felt like... It felt like a movie that really wasn't what I think they wanted to really go with here. And it's very interesting because I think I know why this movie did not do so well, because it was a film that was originally intended to be released 2 years ago. It was postponed following the, of course, what happened at Columbine in April of that year, and then the delay again came around when we had the 2000 presidential election. And so basically, the Miramax, who originally were going to release the film, is basically passed it over to Lionsgate after the producers of the movie sued for breach of contract, and so now it finally gets released here. It really felt like Lionsgate didn't really know what to do with the movie. It's just like, hey, we have it here. We've got a weekend. We can put it out on. Let's just see what happens. And there are some good ideas to it. There are some ideas I think could work. A modernized version of Othello told this way could be very interesting, kind of like what they did with Romeo and Juliet a couple years ago. But it just doesn't live up to the hype and the potential that they really could have had with a movie like this. It just feels like, the cast overall, I think, sells it to the point where I can't say it's a really bad movie per se, but the story really is a mess on a number of different levels. It's a film that it feels like there was more potential done here, but it didn't have the right script to really make it go to that second level or become like, okay, we really got something here. But, it's not a bad movie per se, and I'll give Tim Blake Nelson some credit for a guy that I didn't know even directed movies up to this point. I thought he did a pretty good job handling this. I know him mostly for his acting works, but he does show the potential of what he can do as a director overall here. And I don't know. I can't really say it's a bad movie per se, but I can't really say it's a good movie either. It's definitely a film that works mostly because of the casting involved here. I think the cast really elevates this to another level, but everything else about it, though, the ideas are a bit there, kind of like with Jeepers Creepers. The ideas are there. Just that second push to really polish up the script a little bit really could have gone a long way to making this movie work better than it actually does. It's just kind of like, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just kind of right there, honestly, the more I think about it. So that's all I got to say about O. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and when we meet next time, we'll take a look at 4 more movies, including The Musketeer. We also have Vivica A. Fox and Two Can Play That Game, Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston and Rockstar, and also Soul Survivor. So 4 movies we'll take a look at next time around. We'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the plays on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, but until then, as always, take care.